Know yourself. It's important for, many of us have flown or have seen movies where they talk about flying or whatnot. And the stewards or the stewardesses, the folks who are working in the cabin, they put those videos up or they do those demonstrations. And one of the things that I always find interesting is that they say, put your mask on first before you help someone else. And so when we think about developing cultural agility, when we think about developing cultural competence, it's important that we know ourselves first, right? So it is important to value one's own culture. So what is it that you like about your culture? What is it that you like about your group? And recognize those stories. Recognize how you came to be a part of the nations that you're a part of, right? So how did you come to be in the United States as a member of a people group, right? Was it an immigration story that you have where your people brought to this country through the economic system of slavery? Were you always here and now you're adapting to Europeans coming into your space? So how is it that we value our own culture? So what do you know about your own culture? And some folks will say, well, I don't have a culture. Or that my culture is just American, and I can agree with the fact that you are a part of American culture. But there are some things that are unique about your family's experience that make your American experience a unique experience, right? And so lots of folks are oftentimes concerned about hyphens behind groups' names or whatnot. What I'll suggest to you is that those things will be necessary until they're no longer necessary. I am African American. I didn't choose that. My racial group has changed names many times, and none of those times I believe that we've. I certainly haven't gotten a questionnaire about what I want to be called, but I do have some pride in recognizing that my culture has significance, that it has belonging, and that I get a sense of safety from having some commonalities with other human beings. And so it's important to recognize that. It's also important to recognize to see differences as similarities and differences. That we are, again, very different, but we're very much alike simultaneously. And so as you think about your own immigration story, your own acumen or arrival in the United States, that it's important to recognize that we have some very similar stories. We also have some very different stories, and that combination is a part of what we call diversity. And we also, the third thing that I want us to think about ourselves is our willingness to adapt our behavior to be more effective. And so people will say, well, I don't want to be culturally a PC is what they say. I don't want to be politically correct. Well, I'm not asking you to be politically correct, and I don't want this to be a moral argument. What I do want you to think about is, are your behaviors effective in helping you to get things done? Ultimately, if you have exclusive behaviors that say, I will only work with or be with or interact with this particular group, or I only like this culture, or I only like this aspect about this culture or that culture, is that effective in helping you to reach your goals? And I will submit to you that if you can say yes, that this is effective, then I can't help you, right? There's nothing I need to do to help you because you're set in your ways. But for those of us who are looking to be more effective in what we do, more effective in how we communicate, more effective in building communities, then it's important that we have this willingness to analyze our behaviors to see what we need to change so that we can engage other people as we seek to be more effective. So three things you need to know about yourself. Know your own know how to value your own culture, see differences as similarities and differences, and thirdly, be willingness to adapt your behavior to be more effective towards reaching goals.